Let this podcast run your life.
Mandatory toothbrushing laws, harnessing the awesome power of zombies, free pony platform, and a tyrant that you should trust.
It's the Team Supreme podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome, pony lovers. You've chosen to let this podcast run your life. I'm your humble narrator, Tyler Lindsay. Perched perilously above me is the mythical skater boy, Corey Horgan. Jackie's around here somewhere, scaring the locals. Out yonder is Brett Lee, my everyday carry. From deep in the taint of Texas, Clayton Hunt will join us. J.C. Cook will be here through the magic of space junk. And producer Eric Fogelberg is making vulgar hand gestures as this 1,000,000-watt, zombie-powered glitter bomb drops on your cerebellum. So quit pop-locking. Let's make this one count. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, doing great.
Living the dream.
I've chosen to let you run my life. Let's
Don't
go.
know whose dream, but
So should I breathe now?
You can breathe.
Thank you.
Now you can. Good job.
I mean, you live in Houston, so I wouldn't recommend it, but...
Especially not in the next couple of months. Yeah.
I hope everyone's staying healthy.
We're opening up.
So, well, you know, this is actually going to be probably our first real show, and so we should probably introduce ourselves. Why don't we hear from Brett Lee? Where are you from? What do you do? What are you all about?
Well, hello, world. I'm Brett Lee. I'm your libertarian chi, your me you want to be, and I'm here to help let this podcast run your life. I'm from Parkersburg, West Virginia. I am also someone that wants to help make libertarian a common known thing. Why don't we hear from someone else? I'll go ahead and pass it to Corey.
well, I'm Corey Horgan. That is. I'm a video editor. Been doing some videos for Vermin Supreme, the awesome team. Music maker, generally goofy guy. Here for a good time.
Architect's going to come in and scare the locals with my charming but foul-mouthed personality. And I'm a super supreme avid follower. And I'm here for my free pony.
Darn
Nice.
tootin'.
I'm J.C. Cook, and I'm sorry in advance for that. I am perpetually unemployed, or at least for the moment, and I'm an anarchist, so fuck me, right?
Whoa. Crazy person.
I'm Clayton Hunt. I am the only real libertarian from, despite what Tyler thinks, the best place in Texas, Houston, H-Town, do it for the H. I'm a massive Houston sports homer, except for the Dynamo. I really don't follow them. And I am the final and total arbiter of what is and is not libertarian. I am the libertarian final boss.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
And I say that the only way for libertarianism to flourish is for Vermin Supreme to be the president.
I think we're all in agreement there.
Oh, beautiful.
Well,
He is the only real libertarian.
we do need to hear just what this producer person is and what he's all about. Eric Fogelberg, what do you got? Producer person says he's an anarchist and he lives in New York and he doesn't want to be on. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe when he gets a
And
better
I'm
mic.
Tyler Lindsay. I live in a little town an hour southeast of Dallas called Tool, Texas, on a lake. And I haven't been to the lake in roughly a year. And but I do vermin stuff. My wife is the campaign manager. It's pretty much our entire lives. So this is these are your guides, I guess, through this crazy little podcast we're trying to put together.
We're excited to be here.
Heck yeah.
Real quick,
Yes.
Clayton, since you are the only real libertarian, I just wanted to ask real quick, is cheating at baseball libertarian?
I would say
JC, I
that
adore you.
you should ask Corey because, Boston Red Sox, they got caught twice in a row, isn't this? 2017,
Luckily,
you have
I
no
do
you have no
not
dog in
give
this
a
race,
hoot
my
about
friend.
sports, but Jackie will
You-
take up on that one.
Because didn't they just get caught again? And while
Are you trying to
because a
pass the
major
ball to
market
me,
team-
or are you reading my signs? I don't understand what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, they got a slap on the wrist, but the Astros, because not a major market team, are the scapegoats of the league, right?
The Astros have not been punished for cheating.
I will say,
Neither
when
have
the
the-
Red
neither have
Sox
the Red
won the
Sox.
World Series last and the parade in Boston, that was unlike anything I've ever seen. I literally saw a mega joint in Boston Common just out in the open. I was baffled,
Yeah, Boston doesn't fuck around.
dumbfounded. People face down in the grass at 2 p.m.
That sounds like Boston on a regular day.
We're charming people. We're charming. The cheating scandals is a touchy subject too, though. It's too soon, so we should talk about something else. Where's my pony?
Too soon? What do you mean? Didn't you guys cut Babe Ruth like almost 100 years ago? It's never too
Remember
soon.
I said I was on your side?
Yeah, I suppose we could talk Boston sports for like 45 minutes if we wanted to.
No, we
I don't
shouldn't.
think anybody wants to listen to it, but
I
yeah.
don't think so.
I also saw a full porta potty that day.
Full.
I didn't know it could happen. Literally. I'm not even exaggerating. I'll leave it at that.
That's very
Spare you the
optimistic of
gruesome
you.
details.
Does anybody know the actual how much fits in a porta potty?
Corey?
What's the cubic
That much.
footage, yardage?
It was that much.
I think you should
I'm
ask
not
the
kidding.
producer.
A
I think he's
lady
a
went in
Yankees
there
fan.
before me and decided not to use it. And I do not blame her at all. She couldn't.
Oh, too much.
Yeah, that was something else.
Oh, that's
People
great.
were doing terrible things.
Well, another little thing is while we're dealing with COVID and we don't have sports and all that stuff, two of these people on the call, are from Texas, JC and Clayton, and we get together fairly regularly. And it's been over a month since we were able to have JC over, and I was just wondering if how else are y'all dealing with family, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, dating, whatever during the time of COVID?
Well, I can tell you this. I'm, as I stated in my intro, not working. So I have a whole lot of time to think about all the things that I'm not getting to do due to the task of social distancing, which, I wasn't very social before, so I didn't think I'd have such a time with it, but it's been a week and it feels like a month. So I feel bad for all you bastards who've been doing this for a month, because I can only imagine what that must feel like.
I'm on month 2. Yikes.
Found a new love for video games once
Yes.
again.
It's been so much gaming. It's insane.
Yeah, escapism is pretty important at this moment.
So I work with my girlfriend. We work in the same store, though in different areas. So I get to see her pretty much all the time. But a lot of the outside of work has it's really hard to see each other outside of that. And so seeing her, being, near her, being able to interact, but like only on a professional level
Mm-hmm.
is
You don't,
kind of
live together,
its,
you don't
its
get
own
together now?
sort of torture, because it's like, hey, I want to hug her and kiss her and be like, hey, I love you, I miss you. But like at the same time, professionalism. So
Professionalism.
yeah, and because of the wonderful corporate structure, all the cameras are really faced towards where people working in the store
They're watching the workers, not
they're watching us more, because essentially they're like, yeah, motherfuckers, we know you're broke. We signed the checks. We know you're broke. So,
yeah, we know what we pay you, and we know what windshield wipers cost.
yeah. So again, like we do get to see each other, and a lot of times dates have gotten to where it's like, hey, let's go for a walk in the park. Or like, going through the drive-through because every restaurant is closed to dine in.
It's been a lot of drive-through for us too.
Yeah. So it is kind of tough, but it could be a lot worse than it currently is.
Mm.
And honestly, the HJs with latex gloves are actually quite pleasant. So.
I mean, it really is safe, safe handy.
No glove, no love.
You're doing your part. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we probably
will
should have
say
been doing that this whole time, though, right?
Oh, we should have.
I will say this: if you're looking for that special experience, a little extra on there, auto parts stores sell gloves, and oftentimes they are textured for working on engines with grease and oil that would otherwise make your gloves slippery. So if you want it ribbed for his pleasure, or her pleasure, hey, let's
Her pleasure, yes. Let's not leave us out of
for
this.
their pleasure. You go to the auto parts store and ask for the textured gloves.
Texture. Got it.
Clayton
Roger
Hunt doing his part to bring back the stock market.
Life hacks.
Does my pony need them?
I got my degree from Thunderwood College, and I'm a doctor of love now.
Doctor of Love, Vermin Supreme. Woo!
I mean, he is the only real libertarian.
Well,
Oh boy,
we
oh
have
boy.
a guest joining us right now.
Ooh.
That was a little unscheduled. That's right on time, as far as I'm concerned, because he always is, because he's got a time machine.
Welcome back.
Welcome, Vermin Supreme, to the show.
That's so awesome.
Well, hello there,
Hello.
citizens. How are you?
That's so awesome.
We're doing all
Hi,
right.
Vermin.
I understand you're running some sort of podcast here or some such. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's
Welcome.
crazy.
We're really just farting around.
That's really wacky. No,
I had no idea you were going to
that's a
be
good
here.
thing.
This is so cool.
No, I was just in the neighborhood. I thought I'd pop by. I got out of my my assignments early. I just had a meeting with a Christian school out of Wisconsin, and they were a bunch of nice kids. And then I had just did a podcast with formerly the Yang Gang, and I felt really terrible trying to explain to them why UBI don't fly libertarian style, and so that was a little sad. But hey, what are you gonna do, right?
Hey, sometimes we agree to disagree. That's all right.
Sometimes you have to burst bubbles before you reinforce them with steel belts. So
Yeah, no, they're nice kids. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. I got that political capital where they like me, and I can give them I can harsh their mellow a little bit, and they'll still like me. So that's nice. My likability factor. Amen for that. So it's wonderful. I mean, I really feel like we're winning. That's all I can say. Winning the hearts and winning the minds and other internal organs of various sorts.
And
So
teeth.
I can't wait till we
And teeth.
win their livers.
You missed something
winning
earlier.
I should win another kidney, having given away one. I'm still one short.
Yeah.
but-
You're down one. You need
Down
you
one.
need more.
And they want to give me when my mom died, they want to give me my own kidney back. What the hell kind of ripoff is that? I tell you. Jeez, I had to deal with that whole grieving process, and then they buried her with my kidney inside her. What the hell? Crazy.
That
Sounds pretty
wacky.
cheated to
is
me.
amazing.
I was
Well,
No
that's
returns.
actually it goes back to what I was about to say. Is this is going to probably be our first actual heard podcast, and everybody went around the horn and introduced themselves. And so, why don't you introduce yourself to people that might come across this and don't know who Vermin Supreme is?
Oh, don't these people have Google? Can't they just Google
Exactly.
me? Why do I have to? Like,
You
what is
are
this?
the first
I-
1,000 results
I
or
have
so.
to- I have to say this. I say that stuff on all the podcasts. Now I have to say it on this one too. Come on! I thought this was a podcast dedicated to all things Vermin Supreme and other stuff.
Yeah, this is true. This is
This
true.
is why you have a
Maybe
time
something we
machine.
don't know.
Yeah, Vermin, tell us something we don't know.
Come back.
You don't know. I don't know. What don't you know? Y'all know everything.
Do you manscape?
You missed.
No, yes, I maintain a nice landing strip there just in case any space aliens are that scale, and I happen to be naked out one day. And they can
yes,
sort
Have you
of, like,
considered a lightning bolt?
Always, yes. I was thinking to do that with my chest hair and my butthole. I didn't know, one or the other. Gonna bleach that stuff, right?
Well, if you don't, I might have to.
I'm way ahead of this bleaching thing. Let me tell you. Yeah.
This goes back to love in the time of COVID. I mean, you got to bleach your butthole just to maintain some safety.
And relations, man. Did I tell you when I came home from the Chicago debate out there in Illinois? It was like I didn't know. It's like it was still when we were not taking things seriously. It's like right on the verge when we were going to take it very seriously, but not quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got there the day early, and my gracious host, they took me out to this rock and roll club, and then we went to the fetish goth night at that club. And it's like, and I remember I'm live streaming and hugging all up on people, and it's like, and I'm telling my people in the audience, if I get COVID, I got it right here, right now. Yeah. So, and of course, at the debate itself, here we're all libertarians. We're at the libertarian debate. We're sharing the microphone. This was like on March 13th, I think. We were all handing the same microphone up and down the line.
Right before the government.
And it's like I'm looking at it. It's like I don't know, but I don't want to appear wimpy at a debate. I want to be all rough and tough and manly. And okay, here you go. Here's this chirpy ass microphone going back. God, I hope there's not COVID on this thing. And then the airports and stuff and all that. Then I got home and Becky's like, "All right, you're in quarantine," and I was in quarantine for 2 weeks, and that always adds a lot to a relationship. No touching and stuff like that.
Right.
Not sleeping together and stuff like that. So that was, and now it's just like it's just like normal, just like get on each other's nerves and whatever. it's old married Vicky, bickering old married couple, just here.
No matter who you live with, you get on each other's nerves.
But of course, I don't know. I mean, it's easy to say, and it's harder to do. To say, let us all have patience. Let us all have infinite patience. Let's be really aware that we're living with people here, and we're putting a lot more time in with them than we might normally do. And good Lord, I hate this person. They are getting on my nerves rapidly. But let us allow ourselves the patience and the luxury and taking the deep breath and the stepping back or stepping outside or just, I don't know. Sometimes it's so fun to pick a fight though, and control your partner and all that. I mean, tell me it's not true. Come on, you know it's true.
Oh, that's why I've been picking battles. But this time now more than ever,
I think it's just we gotta try and not do that shit.
Take it to the online servers. Take out some noobs.
Yeah, being married during this it's interesting because there's like I read an article about just the stress factor that's involved with this. There is an ever-present danger that's causing your primal brain to be aware that there's the fight or flight mechanism is constantly going in your head right now, in your subconscious, and you're not in control of this at all. All you can do is, attempt to keep your higher level of consciousness, at ease and to maintain, and then, put 2 people in the room or 3 people in the room or a family or whatever, a large family in the room, all experiencing this constant
it's a low level stress. It's low level of stress, just day to day.
Aching bones, just knowing that there's this invisible monster and there's nothing you can do about it.
The fight or flight. I mean, that's the lizard brain is such an annoying part of the brain sometimes. I mean, I'm climbing a ladder and saying, "Oh no, it's too scary! You're gonna fall! No, don't do it! Danger! Right. And then it starts. You get the little rush of adrenaline, and then you get the adrenaline afterburn. I mean, I really noticed that was when I was experiencing depression and anxiety. It was like this terrible feedback loop where it's like, all of a sudden, oh, why do I feel bad? Why do I feel blue? And then all of a sudden, it was so easy to hang on to anything that was wrong in your life. Oh, my relation, oh, my career. So oh, geez, my pants don't fit, or any number of things. I'm not as pretty as I want to be, and it's all of a sudden, and then you start fixating on that, and then you try and pull yourself out of that shit, and it's like, oh, I need to do this today, and then you can't quite do it, and then you start feeling anxiety. And it's so close to that flight or fight one, where it's like it's just this release of like these of adrenaline essentially, and then it's that afterburn where you're feeling it in your knees and your elbows, and it's such an incredibly unpleasant experience. And it took me such it was really one of the darkest times in my relations. It was like it was so bad. I mean, I'm glad I'm so lucky and glad that my wife stood by me in that dark time, because I was so freaking useless. It was so painful trying not to be. It was a motherfucker.
That's what love will do for you.
Human
Little
struggle.
love.
Yeah.
Well, and this is why, like, I see a lot of people dunking on the people protesting lockdowns, saying things like, I need a haircut. But like, if maybe they're going through that and it's manifesting, a lot of it's manifesting in the fact that like their personal appearance isn't what they feel like, and that anxiety is pushing them to do that. And I know not everyone's saying that, but like you've got people that are really hurting and are seeing their like financial future taking a complete nosedive. And so they've got this current threat, but they've got that future threat too. So it's like, even if we get through this, a lot of people are I see a lot of people saying, even if we get through this, like the next, it's just the next shitty situation.
Super stressed. People are freaking the fuck out. People are freaking out, and you can't blame them.
Yeah,
especially when people feel trapped or uncertain. I mean, people like certainty. People like patterns day to day, and when the future is so uncertain, it becomes extremely unsettling and starts to freak people out.
What do you think of this as a test run? Personally, like Vermin was talking about, on March 13th, he's in Chicago. We had reservations about it as working on the campaign, but it was so important for him to be there for the campaign, and that was our choice. And does it feel like the wrong one now? Well, everything worked out, but again,
I'd have felt terrible if I got COVID and croaked.
Right.
I'd have blamed every last one of you bastards fucking killing me like that, motherfuckers.
Absolutely. And as a test run for something that, again, COVID continues to show that it is worse than we think.
Oh, yeah. And COVID 2020 coming soon.
Right.
Got my vote.
Yeah, seriously.
If this had been even slightly more contagious and slightly more lethal, we made all the wrong decisions. We already did, but we made them all. I mean, we're talking wholesale death.
And that's also like, I see people on Twitter just saying, dunking on libertarians, saying, libertarians, you don't have the right solutions. But the libertarians aren't in charge. It's the Republicans and Democrats that are in charge, and they're making every wrong choice they can. And it's just like, they're in charge, they're making the choices, they're making the decisions, and they're proving to be wrong. And they're saying, see, you guys are wrong. Really? It's just like, how can,
well, at the least,
they sit there with all the political authority and power, and they're exercising it, and they're making decisions, and essentially every day. And it's not unique to my situation, but like you look at across the country, every day, every county, every city, every state has a big press conference where you've got all the officials standing around, making announcements, making their their official statements, and a lot of these decisions are massively affecting people's lives, and not just in the affect directly to them, but like in the outcomes of either stopping or increasing the rate of spread that could kill them. And like you said, if it was a little bit more lethal, if it was a little bit more contagious, every single decision that at almost every single level was wrong.
Are you suggesting that the idea of injecting disinfectant into your bloodstream is wrong? If that's wrong, I don't want to be right, Clayton.
Well, no, we're supposed to bleach it, inject it rectally. We're supposed to bleach our buttholes.
Oh,
Yeah, this is our leadership right now. This is
seriously.
this is the guy steering the fucking ship.
Oh my God.
Not for long, people.
That's
Not
right.
for long.
Now Vermin coming for him.
We're almost there. I can feel it in my bones. I'm feeling
Coming for the
lucky.
White House.
I'm liking our chances. You stick with me, people. We're going all the way to the White House and beyond.
With clean teeth.
So like the backyard of the White House.
But if nothing else, a very transformative moment potentially in the culture here. Things could be changing. People asking questions. Why were they that way before, and now they just managed to pull all that shit away? Why did I have to drive 2 hours to work every day? Why did I have to go cross country to college in order to get this information and learn that stuff up? And there's what do we need all those schools for? Why am I sending my kids to school? We can just plug them in right here, do it remotely, or I don't know. There's a lot of different questions. The regulations. Oh, the trucking industry. Oh, we don't need that regulation right now. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh, maybe we don't need those regulations for the drug development, the testing, the manufacturing, or maybe we don't. So it's a ripe time for sure to definitely maximize and use these things.
Maybe there
to the
really
advantage.
is enough money for everybody to get $1,200, and maybe there's more where that came from.
Let's milk that money cow.
They did introduce a bill for $2,000 a person for at least 6 months.
Wow.
Yep.
And it'll cost slightly less than the first one that was essentially just a cash grab by big corporations.
Well, that's fair then. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, by golly. I mean, if we're just printing it up anyway, what the heck? Keep on printing it until it's worthless. But we'll all have lots of it.
I mean, anybody that thinks it's any different than what goes on normally is just fooling themselves. So what you have now is all you had to do was just stop, right? Stop taking rent and mortgage payments. Stop taking credit card payments. Stop also paying the bankers and the loansters and the whoever else. If you all just stopped, it would be fine. But that's not the way it works in this country. The bankers and the loansters and the landlords and the mortgage people, which it all just ends up at the bank anyway, they take money straight from the kitty all the time.
And
Right
where
now,
do the
they're
banks and where do the banks get that money, my friend?
From the government.
But where does the government get that money, my friend?
Thin air, right? But that's the point. Like
that
that's
is really tricky.
Anybody that's
tricky.
complaining about this, it's really just they're just giving it to you to give it to the bankers again. Like there's no difference. So, I mean, at least you get the feel good story of getting $1,200 or $2,400 or whatever. Family of four. Nuclear family, traditional American thing gets whatever.
Minor tax rebate. I'll allow it. I'll allow it this once. But anything more is pure communism. It's not going to fly. It's not going to work. Sorry. I have a constituent. I have a base that I'm trying to cultivate. I got to throw my people red meat. I'm sorry. You guys are a bunch of commies.
It's
Here, let me fire up the helicopter, man.
it's
Goes the helicopter.
Goes down.
if you could buy a helicopter at Walmart, then people would have been out doing that a couple weeks ago when they first started getting those checks. That was the most dangerous thing to do at this time, actually, was to give people the cash to pay, their mortgage or their internet or whatever the hell they were supposed to spend it on. Because literally, Walmart was wall to wall, people buying TVs.
and this is where I kind of, from the right libertarian perspective of seeing a lot of welfare. Honestly, I think of all welfare essentially as corporate welfare, even social welfare. Because think about it, you gave everyone $1,200 and said, go pay your mortgage to essentially as a backdoor bailout of the bank. Go pay your bill to bail out the different service providers, or go buy a TV at Walmart and bail out Walmart.
We got on the subject for a minute there. Trump did say probably the most sane thing anybody's ever heard come out of anybody's mouth, let alone the sitting U.S. president. And what we have right now is, as Vermin's saying, hopefully it's a time where people are starting to question their lives a little bit, question the way that the society works and the economy works, and say maybe there's a better way. Meanwhile, they're defending the statements of a madman who wants you to wants scientists to figure out a way to shoot the rays of the sun into your fucking bloodstream or whatever. So, what do y'all think of that?
Light brights. He was talking about light brights.
Light brights.
I do remember
inserting the light bright pegs into your body. There are ways to do that. There are ways to put the light bright pegs into your bloodstream. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Light brights are fun, so that sounds like a fun time.
Its effectiveness. However,
did I forget to tell you I'm inventing a shrink ray that's going to shrink down the ponies really, really, really microscopically small, and they will be fighting the coronavirus in massive battles on a microscopic scale, the likes of which this country's never seen before.
Now that's genius. That's just genius.
We're gonna make Narnia look like
no. This is Osmosis Jones.
A not very good battle.
A not very good
Pony Jones.
Yeah, Pony Jones.
Incredible Journey. It's actually based on Raquel Welch and the little submarine, but with ponies. Yeah. All of my platforms are based on movies. I'm sure you know that.
Yes.
We're going to pause for a brief intermission. We'll be back with more Vermin Supreme. This is Let This Podcast Run Your Life, the Team Supreme podcast. In the meantime, you can find Vermin at verminsupreme2020.com. You'll find information, ways to get involved, beautiful merch, the Vermin and Libertarian Party platforms, and links to donate. You can find Vermin on Facebook at Vermin Supreme for President, on Twitter at Vermin Supreme. We'll be right back with more Vermin.
All right, we're back.
Yes.
I brought a tear to my eye.
I loved it.
Welcome back.
Well, yeah,
So
I
beautiful.
wasn't doing Welcome Back, Cotter, but yeah.
Okay.
We are discussing Trump and his insanity, and that hit some kind of weird wall. So, what else we got on the menu here? Vermin, I hear that a lot of former Bernie supporters are kind of switching allegiance to you. What do you think about that?
Well, according to one particular libertarian press report, that is most certainly true. And anecdotally, I will have to say it's absolutely true. And that's what I hear. And of course, I can certainly say without reservation that up in New Hampshire, it seemed to me that the goodwill given in my direction by the Bernie supporting people was incredible. I mean, quite frankly, at that University of New Hampshire Bernie concert where I photobombed AOC, the amount of love and recognition was really high up there. And I can also say, and I guess it's, I don't know if it's anecdotal, I guess it's secondhand because you're hearing it from me by way of their tweets. But yes, when Bernie dropped out of the race, there was certainly a tidal wave of support. And then when Bernie endorsed Joe Biden, yes, there was a huge wave of just disgusted Bernie folks coming in our direction. And
here I am,
of course,
as
they've been
part
reaching
of it.
out.
And likewise.
So, yes.
Out here
So
in
we have-
Boston,
Likewise.
I would have voted Bernie.
Bonnie, yeah.
welcome.
Boston would have been Bernie.
Here we
Welcome
are.
very much.
And
Team
Vermin loves
Supreme.
Supreme.
Yeah, no, we're glad you're here. And as I assured the Libertarian Party itself, because they are so leery of bringing in these young kids that they perceive to be, socialist or left-leaning or what have you. And I just try to make them understand that, young people are indeed, as they call themselves, polyflexible, politically flexible. And, yes,
that's how
of
it
course,
should be.
they're kids and they're looking for what seems right, what sounds right, what seems right. And for many kids, it's like, well, should everybody have insurance? And of course, the answer is, well, yes. Well, that must mean we need Medicaid for all. Yes, of course. Just because it makes sense. It's a quick explanation of a solution to the problem. And but it doesn't make a full-on lot of market sense, just because the government is such a mismanager of such programs and the bureaucratic additions to the whole mess. And so I'm pretty sure that that's one of the things I've steered the kids to the LP platform. Did you all check out the LP platform before you jumped over?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like sometimes people will look at it as idealistic, but I think I'm an idealistic person. I like to think of how should things go, and let's work towards that.
Well, so many people are quick to, slam idealism in favor of realism, but idealism is what's driven innovation since the beginning. You wouldn't
it's just
have
something to work
the car,
towards.
you wouldn't have the plane, you wouldn't have anything if it weren't for someone who thought outside of the status quo. And so don't knock it till you
It was
try
very
it.
eloquently put and very
Even if
Very
you have
well
different
said.
ways of achieving it.
Well, personally, I was not a Bernie person. I'm a long-term libertarian, hardcore right libertarian, and like the very tip of the bottom right square ANCAP.
Mhm.
And I think that people that are ANCAPs or even just regular right libertarians, if like the one thing that I've always at least said about Bernie is that we may not agree on the solutions, but at least I can say that he has a good eye for looking at problems in society and finding real problems in society, even if we don't agree on what the solution to that problem is.
Like caring about the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Libertarians
And it's just
can
one
look
step
at what
closer.
the issues that he's promoting,
Sometimes.
and at least on a good portion of them say, yeah, that is a problem that we are currently facing. We just think that there's a better way to solve it than what you're saying.
Absolutely.
And I think that like if the Libertarian Party does see a lot of influx of Bernie people, the thing is not to say, oh, you supported a socialist, you're wrong, you're bad, you need to repent. It's no, you saw a politician that was pointing out real problems, and we don't really think that he had the right solutions to it, but here's our solutions. Let's see if you think our solutions are better.
There is that, and policy is always a big deal with any campaign. What's funny though is when you have a candidate like Vermin, like a lot of that doesn't even matter. It's the boot. So I don't know
That's
if
true,
a lot
but
of
we
you
do have,
My
we do
pony.
have a policy team that are
Right.
working on various things right here. In fact, they came out with these latest bullet points for me, and I don't usually put the more serious forward stuff, but I'll rattle them off just because we have them here because our policy team was kind enough to come up with it. And bullet point number 1: allow for subscription-based plans with primary care providers. And essentially, the purpose of this policy is to declusterfuck the current system and sort of make sure that going on it works for most consumers, if not all. Number 2: require all providers and facilities to have transparent pricing that is available to consumers in person and online before services are rendered. Yeah. 3:
How is that? Yeah, that's beautiful.
Number 3 is consumers should not pay more than insurance companies for services. So that's sensible. Although ultimately, I believe that some of the insurance pricing is what causes the prices to go up.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Medicaid pricing structure that pays pennies on the dollar forces the industry to jack up their prices multiple times just to absorb that. But I'll go with it because our policy team threw it out there. Mm-hmm. Reduce FDA regulations to allow for use of prescriptions that have not been yet approved by the FDA, with appropriate warnings, I would certainly suppose. Okay. And last but not least, on this particular rough, allow consumers to purchase prescriptions from worldwide markets.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
And I assume that might also be for insurance also.
Yeah, well, it really feels like is we subsidize the rest of the world's healthcare with the prices that we pay either through insurance or without. Or if you can go to Mexico or Canada and get drugs at 1/10 of the price, and they're the exact same thing, there's obviously something's broken.
Oh yeah, I had some dental work done in Algodones, Mexico, there right across from Phoenix, I guess. And they have the casino there, and you park your car, and you just like walk right across the border. And as soon as you cross the border, it's like this open air dental bazaar, this dental market, this dental Disneyland, if you will.
Dental Disneyland.
And everybody, there's like all of a sudden you're being approached by any number of people, and like, hey, how are you? Do you need a root canal today? Hey, do you got any cavities? And offering services. And I got like several some root canals, a couple crowns, a couple cavities taken care of, and it just ended up to be incredibly short money compared to what it would have cost in the States.
I just spent a lot of money on a root canal.
I won't say it wasn't a little bit leery when the root canal guy rolled in, his little hand wagon full of tools and whatever, and it's like, okay, and starts pulling them out of the suitcase, and I'm just sort of like, geez, I hope these things are sterilized. But
he poured tequila on it first,
gas?
right?
Yeah.
You have good laughing gas at least?
they were wrapped in plastic, so I assume they were. Of course, the market would dictate that if all sorts of Americans started getting infections, that it might not be well for their business. So they certainly have the motivation to minimize muck-ups. Although, on the other hand, I've heard a couple of horror stories from some other cross-country dental border jumpers on the other side, El Nachos or something.
Will Dental Disneyland be part of the concentration camp system?
Well, I don't see how it could not be.
I would assume the concentration camps would, like, at some point span the entire globe. So.
It's the most wondrous place on Earth. It's the only place on Earth. It's fun.
It's the only place, right? No, I was just going to say, I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if everybody saw this or not. It got buried on Twitter pretty quickly, but it went pretty crazy viral for a while there. When Vermin was in New Hampshire, AOC was doing a Bernie rally. And she was all fired up, and she's screaming and yelling about, I don't know, whatever she screams and yells about.
Socialism.
Not that I don't like her. She's actually probably the most libertarian member of Congress at the moment. But she's getting the crowd fired up, and she's doing her
That's an
thing.
assertion that I know my base won't like.
and Vermin's timing on this is perfect. The shot is AOC revving up the crowd, doing her thing, and Vermin just walking down the stairs behind her with the boot in full regalia, and then he just sits at the bottom of the stairs right in camera, and Twitter blew up.
It went on the Jumbotron immediately.
I saw that picture.
So
I love
that was pretty hilarious, and it was a pretty beautiful photo bomb.
It was amazing.
I remember, earlier in the rally, they weren't allowing anybody to go down the stairs with it. There was like somebody who thought they had some authority, but whatever, it was hard to get by him. And but after a while, it loosened up a bit, and we were just walking around there. And I forget who suggested it, but they totally made the right call. Pointed down the steps, and it was just a clear shot. And it was just, there was nothing in the way. There was no impediments. And I knew that it would be right. It was so right behind her on the camera angle. And then when I could see a monitor, and I was able to position myself like at the perfect spot where it was like me and her on the screen. And then they cut to the Jumbotron. And it was very funny because it certainly looked like I was actually seated there, or it was some sort of VIP seating or some crap. But I got a huge laugh out of it. And just trying to maintain composure and pretend I was all serious was a little bit of a stretch. But
one of the things I love about this Supreme campaign, so many people think you can't just do something, and here's this guy showing you can. He shows up and he just freaking did it.
Yeah.
Is there a clip of that on the Vermin Supreme YouTube channel?
No, I don't think we ever came up with it.
Really? I think Ryan got it a little bit of it on the Dropbox.
Oh, if we source it, we'll get that up ASAP.
Yeah, absolutely.
The people need to see
if we can find it. It's around. It was amazing.
Definitely stills, and the stills have been turned into a couple of memes.
Sure.
And
yeah.
It got posted to like a really big Bernie Twitter, so here's AOC, promoting Bernie or whatever, and it gets posted, and that's just happened to be when Vermin was on there, and the comments are just nothing but Vermin Supreme, Vermin Supreme, Vermin Supreme. I see Vermin.
People are pretty excited about it.
It was amazing.
Good little bump, good little hijack of a cultural hijack. I didn't know what it was, but it was definitely a beautiful little photo bomb for sure.
A cameo.
Yeah.
I know we haven't worked on this.
And once again, friends, photo bombs do not equal endorsements. I had to type that into several threads over the few weeks after that. But yeah. Mm.
But if you want to feel that way, that's okay too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad play to, try to be your VP in 2024. Have you? I know we haven't really done this on the campaign, but have you, thought about any kind of a welcome message to these Bernie supporters that are coming on? Do we have a, 3 sentences to just say, you're here, you're verminized, get used to it?
I'd be surprised if we don't have something like that somewhere. I mean, it seems that's like totally something that we should have, by golly. I mean, welcome, my fellow. No. Welcome, dear. Hello. Attention, please. Hold on. Dear Bernie, dear friends of, dear supporters of Senator Sanders who have previously. No, let's try a little different. Hello. Hi. Hello. Howdy. Hi there. No. Let's see how do I want to start it.
How about at least you're not Yang Gangers?
Yeah. No, I was just on the Yang Gang. I just had to explain to the Yang Gang why UBI don't fly with the LP. Sorry. I next thing you'll be having me tell the Bernie's bros and sisters about how that universal health care, although the libertarians are not against universal health care per
Bernie
se,
bros.
but no, the government involved in it is going to be a terrible idea. Huge bureaucracy and a boondoggle and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. We're trying to record a little promo here. Sorry, I didn't mean to get a little distracted there. But
It's fine.
I mean, I don't want to be one to spew harsh truth because ultimately I'm just throwing red meat at my base and But yeah. So anyway. Hey kids, how you doing? It's me, Vermin Supreme. I hear you guys were like supporters of Senator Sanders there. Well, I just want to let you know that I feel for you. I feel very sorry. I knew the DSC was going to screw y'all. I know Bernie was going to have to do what he had to do because he's a politician after all. He brought up some very important issues, brought up some very important points, yanked the Ovaltine window way in that direction, and that is all a beautiful thing. But let me say, once again, for the moment, now that Mr. Sanders has indeed done his duty and endorsed Senator Biden, I understand that has disappointed many of you, as it has I. And I did want to make you feel and let you know that you are welcome here on Team Supreme. We have a place for you. We've got the Libertarian Party platform here for you to peruse. And I'm sure there is much that we agree with. And the things that we would like to see in this society, we believe we can achieve without the government. So there. So come on over and help us figure that out. It's a big tent we got, maybe. Maybe.
That was beautiful.
Yep. You bet.
That's great.
I'm sure Biden gives it 5 sniffs. I said, I'm sure Biden gives it 5 sniffs.
I read the whole freaking platform, people. The whole LP platform.
Now let's do an audio book.
The whole fucking platform, people. So there. Maybe we can make it a free audiobook. Vermin Supreme reads the LP platform.
Let's see Biden read their platform.
Right. Well, if you can either go or you can stick around for an interview with fake Justin Amash.
I think I should probably go. It's getting late. Although it sounds super. Hey, how about it? Was it? I think the funniest part of the debate was we were asked the question: were we going to endorse what other libertarian candidate we would endorse? Did you see that part? And I went, Justin Amash. He's so dreamy.
That's fucking great.
Okay, yeah, it was pretty. I think it was the funniest line of the night. All right, have a good night, everybody. Keep up the good work. Take care. Feel free to reach out if you need anything.
All right, take care. Thank you, Vermin.
Have a good night. Peace.
Okay, I ran out of breath. We're back. I gotta stop smoking.
An intro.
We have a guest. I bet y'all didn't know that. We had a really awesome guest, and now we have a really not awesome guest who may or may not be another presidential candidate. We have on the phone, live from the frozen tundra that is Michigan, Justin Amash. Let's give him a big round of boos.
Thank you so much for having me there, Tyler. I really appreciate you guys bringing me on to your fantastic first episode there.
We appreciate you coming. We just have a few questions because you're a little hard to pin down these days.
Well, Well, I am Justin Amash, and so I tend to be a little all over the place there.
This one actually comes from an email I got. It says, "Why does Justin Amash hate Trump so much, bro?"
Well, now let me stop you. Let me stop you right there. Okay, Justin Amash doesn't hate the president. As a matter of fact, I've kissed his ass on many occasions there. Where we come into disagreements is, I'm a constitutional, a libertarian, and some of his policies, his big state policies, I don't agree with him there. It's not so much a hatred as it is just like, I don't know, an unhealthy fixation.
Well, I appreciate you clearing that up. How's the re-election bid going? I hear you've raised an ungodly amount of money for a House campaign that serves 130,000 people or something. I think $1.5
Well, now once again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've got to correct you there on your statement. I remember I am pro-life, and so it was a godly amount that I raised. And yes, it has been a lot. It has been quite a bit. But I'm confident that if I were to make a move to any third parties, that that amount would definitely not reflect my potential.
I mean, is it looking good for you? What do the polls look like?
Well, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to polls there, just because, they're the segments of the population that support me don't necessarily have a pulse, and I know that appeals to some of you folk as you being zombie enthusiasts and whatnots. So. We're just going to have to wait and see. When the LNC reached out to me and told me that I had this thing in the bag. I mean, they asked me if I'd be interested in running. I said, I don't know. I am a libertarian conservative of sorts, but I'm confident that when they hand it to, when I earn the nomination, there's no doubt that that's in the works there.
Let's say you do jump in. I mean, have you kind of looked at the the studies that show that no sitting congressperson has ever won the presidency?
I don't concern myself too much with studies there. I think if you want to homeschool, that's a good thing. Maybe Montessori, whatever the hell that thing's called. That's also fun, but not too much into the studies.
Yeah, I hear your favorite book is actually not even Ayn Rand's extremely popular libertarian novel, but actually The Fountainhead.
Well, yes. The Fountainhead, it was definitely a pinnacle in the development of my staggering personality. And probably my favorite song from the 80s was that classic by the Flock of Seagulls, Ayn Rand, So Far Away. Can't go wrong with a classic.
It's one of my favorites too, to be honest.
Well, see, that's we can build a bridge from there. You got to start somewhere.
We're aware that you've been requested. Your presence in this race has been requested by multiple people, but I mean, you claim to be the most principled congressperson. You claim to, when you left the Republican Party, you said that you weren't joining another party simply based on the fact that it would have kind of degraded the principled message you were putting forward, in that parties were a detriment to our system. So how principled is it to join a party at the last minute with the goal of privateering off their ballot access?
People say a lot of things, Principles are the head of the school. Huh. as far as I'm concerned. But you know, any way the wind blows, I'm a read in the wind. Excuse me there. I'm sorry. I think my phone's breaking up there. You know, I have a flip phone. I'm very hip, and I'm very popular with the young folks, 55 and under. So, I guess you know, at the end of the day, you'll be able to read about it in my new book, Justin Amash, Who, which I will be shamelessly peddling along the campaign trail there.
I can't wait to listen to it on audiobook.
What's an audio book?
We do have one more question. I think Clayton was going to read it.
I'm all ears.
Clayton, do you have that email? Somebody sent this this question. I can't remember exactly how it read.
Is it? I think I did get that email. I think you did forward it to me. Why are you such a scrote?
Well, sir, I gotta say you've kind of caught me off guard there. Well, you know, when it comes to scrotes, I always say only for procreation, and with the lights off. So,
is there a hole in the sheet involved there? Is there a hole in the sheet there somewhere?
Well, I guess it really that highly depends on your socio-economic status there. But nevertheless, I just want to say that I look forward to potentially being the candidate of the Libertarian Party. Is it? Yeah, Libertarian Party. Up until my next shameless bit of promotion there.
Well, we certainly don't look forward to that, but I do appreciate you coming on the show. If you can decide which door to exit through, that'd be great.
Hey, you know, agree to disagree. Yeah, like I said, we all got to start somewhere, but I appreciate you having me. I've got to go uninteresting somewhere else.
All right. Justin Amash, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure how to think about him, which is probably the way he wants me to think. All right. We just heard from the worst waffler in the history of the Libertarian Party presidential nominations. And it's kind of funny because Vermin's running mate, Spike Cohen, is the leader of the Libertarian Party Waffle House Caucus. He doesn't eat waffles. He just has an affection for them. I'm not sure.
They're very sensual.
Very affectionate guy.
There's something highly erotic about a waffle, yeah. What do y'all think of Spike's platform and what he's doing with his run?
His FAQ.
I mean, I'm looking forward to King Reginald myself. Reggie's the man.
Like, I like what Spike has to say about how very serious the campaign is. Very important to be heard.
Yeah.
No joke. Certainly not a protest vote.
I'm just excited for my Badger.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's a very wise man. He even is trying to point out to a lot of people that printing all this fiat currency shouldn't be printed nor encouraged to use with hand to hand. Like, we need to look to another solution, especially during the COVID crisis.
Mm.
And he's been telling people to wash their hands and themselves, so that's good advice.
You know, when he first joined the campaign, I got to admit, I didn't know much about him, but as we've spent time getting to know each other, I got to say he's a stand-up guy. I really think we couldn't have done better than Spike Cohen for this campaign. I mean, top notch.
Absolutely.
Well, and you saw when he was going out in person before all the quarantining stuff, and just meeting people in person and telling them about libertarianism. And I think he did a lot of good in reaching out to people who are not in our bubble. And I think that his approach really is effective in disarming people from saying, "Oh, great, there's some guy who wants to talk to me about politics," but then being able to not set up that wall that people develop, especially when you're dealing with in-person advocating for political issues in person, and then be able to reach them as like a genuine, nice person.
Yeah, there's personability is one of his strengths, I would say. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it mirrors Vermin in that way, that it certainly is a detriment to the campaign that, that in-person conventions ended, with very good reason. But yeah, it's not helped. These two people, when you meet them, you see the light shining out of their eyes, I do want to correct Clayton on something. Nowhere is there promised that you will get a badger. There just is a badger.
Well, now you're just badgering.
I thought we were all going to like share the badger.
Well, there is I don't think anybody can own a badger.
You can own a tiger. You can own a badger.
We're talking about Clayton Hunt. He's the only real libertarian.
Badgers are extant. Okay, that's what they do. Are badgers.
Yeah, but so
I'm looking more forward to the cheesy bread that is promised, because
now, I do have an issue with that.
They've confirmed all the gluten-free options.
Like, I'm keto. Like, is there going to be a low-carb option?
Oh, heck yeah! You're darn tootin'. They got all the cheesy bread options.
Yeah, I the way that fake chicken works, right, is they just leave out the vowels. So I'm guessing cheesy bread is just like CHSYBRD.
Well, all chicken is fake. Birds aren't real.
That is a fair point.
Chicken.
I hear with the cheesy bread, they make you set up your own custom dipping sauce.
Marinara. Team Marinara right here. I'm just going to go on record as saying Team Marinara.
Alfredo all the way. Come at me.
I'm not sure if he's ready for me to break this news, but you know how you usually have like the liquid fountains of cheese or chocolate or whatever, right? And then you have to like use your physical strength to then dip something into that fountain. I believe Spike has come up with a way to make a literal cheesy bread fountain. So it just fonts cheesy bread like pre-dipped. You just kind of reach your hand in there and grab it out of there.
It's a little explicit. It comes out of his, it drips down his chest with that model of him just dad bod stripping his chest open.
There is chest hair involved.
That is another strength that Spike has. He is a very pretty man.
Mm-hmm.
Calendar model man.
Hey, I've seen those pictures.
I'd like to put in my cheesy bread order without chest hair if possible.
I've received those pictures in my inbox.
I've got one over my bed.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for mine.
In the morning, they usually end up in my DMs.
Lucky.
You know what? There's something to be said for voting for someone who you've seen repeatedly pet a narwhal.
I don't know what, but something.
Something to be said. That's great. He's a perfect choice, and we just so happened to have added his head on a t-shirt last weekend to the Vermin Supreme shop, which is verminsupreme2020.com/shop. It's Spike's head on a shirt.
And if you're cool like me, you'll get one as soon as possible.
We've had a few. We literally have had a few orders, a few thousand orders now.
Hey Tyler,
yes.
When are we going to get Spike as a waifu pillow?
I really want to order a boot. I need the boot hat.
That might be doable. Waifu pillows might be doable.
Waifu pillow?
Let me look into that.
We might be able to pull that off.
The boot hat is doable on your own personal time. You just go and look up over boot on Amazon or whatever your store of choice is. And
Well, now
No,
hold
hey,
on.
hey, hey,
just a
this is
second,
what it is. You got to make a whole like vermin setup for Halloween, and it has to include the boot. It's just not that time of season yet.
but you can also go to the store, and we do not have vermin glitter toys on the store. That was a very deliberate choice we made. So if you do want a vermin autographed, handmade glitter tie, you need to donate directly $50 to the campaign and put in the notes that you want a glitter tie. And we will get that, and you will get your glitter tie. We're out of books at the moment. If we start to see a little uptick in people asking for the books, we will get some more. Otherwise, brand new content for 420. There is the Vermin Supreme 420 Free Stonies for All t-shirt. There is the Rasta Vermin t-shirt. There's all sorts of good stuff. There's the update prior to that, we added some of the best memes the internet has to offer.
I'm kind of partial to the Team Supreme baseball tee, man. Like I rock that shit on a regular basis.
I will warn people, the baseball tees are there still, but those have been a little hard to continue to source. I want everybody to be patient, please. If you do order from the shop, just like everything else, things are taking longer. We're running out of things here and there. This is all on demand, and we're only in control of so much. So it could take a little bit, but you will get your stuff.
I did get my shirt. I recently bought my yellow, just the plain text logo, because I like the nice classic look. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think we did a good job of branding this campaign and really bringing it into the 21st century, and it works, and people seem to really be buying into it, and we're going places.
And you know we're only at verminsupreme2020.com.
Yeah, and there you can go find out everything about the campaign, who's endorsed him inside the party, who will be adding outside the party endorsements very soon. You can read about policy and read the Libertarian Party platform in near its entirety, and the Libertarian Party statement of principles, which I think is probably one of the better things written since the Declaration. And yeah, it's all there for you to peruse. So for that, I think we'll leave you. Let's sign off with everybody saying, "Free ponies!" On a one.
Free ponies.
Mine will be named Casper.
The friendly pony.
That's
the friendliest pony.
That's a really good name. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Free
ponies.